Good evening. We'd like to call to order this regular meeting of the Jefferson County Board of Education. Good to see everyone here tonight. Look at all these great students. We'll call to order this meeting. Before we have the Pledge of Allegiance, we'd like to invite you to join us for a moment of silence for the victims of the Santa Fe High School last week in Texas. Thank you. Now, Madam President, we have some guests to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Madam Superintendent. I don't know who the president is anymore.
Mr. Vandale.
So last time we were supposed to do this, I got a call about 6:55, or a text about 6:55 from Mr. Blanc asking me if I was on my way here. I was not.
It took you a while to get here.
So he gave me a second shot at it, and I figured we'd come in full force. So I have our Teacher of the Year, Representative Mr. Lawson, and he's going to introduce our students that are going to lead us in the pledge.
Awesome.
And these are Harpers Ferry Middle School students that they're in a program at Harpers Ferry Middle School for the simulated workplace. They're doing it in the high schools. We're, I think, the only middle school in the state of West Virginia that are in this program. I asked Mr. Soltis if we can do it, and he said, sure. It's a business, just like a real business that you go out. We do have our supervisor here, Gabe Eller, that he's responsible for these people. Then they got to answer to him, he answers to me. Point blank. They have to clock in, clock out, just like a real business. But anyway, they did a great job this year. We do landscaping and construction. We call it the Harpers Ferry Agricultural Landscaping and Construction Company at Harpers Ferry. They came up with the title. We had shirts made. They physically go out into the community and landscape and do construction work. We've worked on the Harpers Ferry Public Library for years and years. Mr. Vandale gave us leeway to, and I appreciate that totally from him, to go out and do this for the community. He supports us 100%. He likes the idea. I love it. The kids are responsible, very responsible. We have a code of honor that they know it. If they break the code of honor, they're fired. And they understand that, and they do a great, great job. And I'm really proud of the fact that we're moving on. We've got a lot of good stuff we're going to do, a lot of things that's going to happen. And, you know, and like I say real quick, I'm very proud of the fact that we're allowed to do this. They go out and physically do the labor. They do the hands-on activities. They're trained before they go out, on-the-job training, and we all know that works 100%. They also have classroom training. And I'm very proud of the fact that we are allowed to have this program. And again, we're the only middle school in the state of West Virginia that does it. And I'm thankful to Mr. Marty Soltis for allowing us to jump on board just like the high schools do. And I think it's great for the young kids. They see what life's all about when they step out. And they know for a fact they're not getting paid per se, but they understand the job quality. They understand they have to be on the job. It has to get done. And our supervisor, who's done a super job to make sure that that happens. Rain or shine, we're out there. Right there's a prime example. It'd be pouring down rain. I'm going up there to take care of stuff. Going up there to take care of rain. Young lady right there never knew how to even use a weed eater. I can't keep her off of it now. Out the door, there she goes. Okay. But these are just exciting things that happen. And these young kids, they love it. They love it, and I'm so proud of the fact that we have an opportunity to come up here and present them and their accomplishments. Okay.
Well, thank you for your leadership.
Well, thank you.
Mr. Supervisor, your job is to get all of us to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Will you all please rise? pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much.
Can we just get a big group picture? You guys mind scooting a little bit closer, or?
I suspect you're going to have plenty of work this week, too.
So the other part of the reason why that they were brought here tonight, other than to lead us in the pledge, which was kind of my 2-for-1 deal, was that Miss Tony Milborn, who you may know, runs the Harpers Ferry Bolivar Public Library, and she contacted me a couple months ago and said, Eric, I want to honor these students that Mr. Lawson has working, and I want to honor Mr. Lawson for the great work they've done with our partnership with the Bolivar Public Library. So I'm going to turn it over to Tony and let her tell you a little bit about what they've done for her.
Okay, thank you first for letting me come and share with you what these students have done for the Bolivar Harpers Ferry Public Library. We are a business partner with Harpers Ferry Middle School, but I think tonight I come to you in a role reversal, because tonight this is the business who works for us and does everything for us. These students come to the library daily if they can, definitely weekly, and they do everything imaginable. They put all of our mulch down, they plant, they weed. If they can't find a major project to do, they come, they pick up sticks for the town maintenance man who does our mowing. They make sure our lawn is clear. They empty our trash cans. They're constantly looking for some way to help us. Earlier this year, they came up with a big project to replace our sign. We have a large sign that designates the library, and it had been in disrepair, falling apart, perhaps a little vandalism involved over the course of time. And these kids came up, painted, repaired, replaced, and it's absolutely beautiful. I brought pictures to share with you, so I'll pass those around. If you want to take a look, this is them actually working, and then the finished product. We did at the library made certificates of recognition for all of the members, not knowing that you guys did as well, so they kind of get a little double duty tonight. But I will read them by name and have them come get their certificate. Joey Allinger.
Joey's nice.
Okay. Cody Bovey. Alphabetical. Kaylee
Kayla's not here, I don't think.
Man, and I practiced
There's a
that
lot of them
name.
here, okay.
Gabe Eller. Yes. Jessica French.
Jessica's here.
Anna Kane. Sean Lewis. Christian Longerbeam. Michaela McDonald. Jason Mercer. Ashlyn McGee. Caitlin Moeller. Emma Lake. Okay. Ashley Stobbs. Kennedy Thomas. And Zane Ward. And then we have one also for Jim Lawson, who's hiding back here. Ooh, up here with them, it's a photo opportunity.
Photo, okay.
And I would just like to say that they have a business, and as Mr. Lawson said, they don't make dollars, but I don't believe that we could pay a landscaping business to do any better than these kids do for us. So thank you all so much.
Thank you for allowing.
Lower, we can get in the picture with them too.
Stay right here.
Yeah, if everybody could hold up your certificates, that would be lovely. Don't hide your face. Perfect.
Thank you.
Good job. Great job. Great job.
Good job.
Great job.
Now you go home. Do your homework.
Here's your pictures. I'm gonna give this one to the school board so some insight.
Thank y'all again. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good evening.
Here, these are the ones that weren't here.
Good job, Mr. Lawson. Google man. I'll see you.
guys.
Thank you,
I'm
Tony.
gonna have to grab a seat now.
Appreciate
Listen a little
it.
bit.
All right.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. You're done. Thank you. Good job.
Thank y'all.
Good job. It doesn't matter to me. Are we up right now?
It was a fun one, wasn't it?
See, I told you I made up for it.
There you go.
You made up for it. You're absolutely right.
Oh, but there's more.
Okay.
Are we out? Golden horseshoe.
Recognitions.
Golden horseshoe.
Hold on just a second. I'm pretty sure. We just need to get everybody inside.
Okay.
So we're going to start with the Golden Horseshoe winners.
Okay.
We have all the golden horseshoe here.
Oh, fantastic. I think they're still filtering in.
So I guess I've been elected to go first from Harpers Ferry. I do recall taking the Golden Horseshoe when I was an 8th grader at Harpers Ferry Junior High at the time. I don't think they bothered giving the score back, so I think these students that took this test this time around crushed it. And I know that my two fellas, I saw their scores, and they actually absolutely dominated the test. So I'd like to introduce Brendan Zampino.
Woo!
Good job, Brendan. And Nick Bennett is our Golden Horseshoe winners, 2018 Harpers Ferry.
Would you mind coming around, and then, or we can, if we want to do a group for all of them, or would you, the individual schools like to have your individual? Why don't we have Shepherdstown go next, and then we'll do one big picture.
I second Eric. I also took the test and did not get my score back either. However, I know that my students did well. Colin Goodell is here to represent Shepherdstown Middle School. And Jessica Wolf could not be here.
Good evening. Our two wonderful Wildwood participants could not be here tonight, but I do want to mention their names, Nathan Sengageby and Molly Hanscom.
Thank you. Okay, would you guys stand back there behind Mr. Sutherland, Mr. Osborne, and we'll all kind of scoot in a little closer. And perfect. There we go. We'll get one more. Awesome. Thank you. Let me get a family paparazzi. No, we'll wait. Let's wait. Okay, no, today. The kids are always like, yeah, the moms are like, yes, did you see
Good evening. Some of you may remember Nathaniel Smith. He was here before because he was one of our volunteers to do taxes. He is one of our most outstanding students. Started nagging him pretty early. Started talking to his mom about applying for the Governor's School of Entrepreneurship. He did, and he was one of the students selected. He will be spending a great deal of time in Morgantown this summer. He is going to be an awesome representative for us. He's already excited about meeting new people, meeting business people across the state, and he plans to do a lot of networking while he's there. So, Nathaniel Smith.
Anybody looking for a job? Yeah, I've got a business I'll give you.
Chief, give me
Yeah.
Maybe working for him one day, be nice.
Oh, I know, no doubt. Thank you very much, Nathaniel. You'll be wonderful.
Thank you.
dear. I'm gonna get Sherry next. Sherry? Thank you. Thank you, honey. Thank you again, Mrs. Smith. As I said, the Navy started with
Very committed to across the state.
Thank you so much.
Rebecca? Yeah. Oh, perfect. Where are you gonna come in? Right here, Rebecca. Yes, here with.
You want to do what you want us to do now? You want us to go?
Yes,
Great.
yes.
Okay, excellent. Come on in, children. Come on in. Okay, we also have some children who were selected to the Governor's Honors Academy. And for those of you that know, this is a very competitive process. The students submit applications. They are reviewed at the school level, they are reviewed at the county level, and then they move forward to the state. And we are so fortunate to have these three young people. They're outstanding citizens at school, in their community. They work extremely hard. Rebecca in the band, they work extremely hard. Both of them, Sage, started a club at our school, and she's kept it going. Sometimes it's not been easy, but she has kept it going, and we really appreciate them. Obviously, continuing to serve their community and school. They're very excited about going to the Governor's Honors Academy. They're very excited about the field trips they're going to take and the classes they're going to attend. So we're very happy tonight to recognize them. Rebecca?
Yep, you just funnel it around the board, we'll get a picture. Just keep going and, yep, there you go. Yeah. And, perfect. Take that.
They have to write several essays in order to be selected, and all their essays were wonderful.
Nathaniel, why don't you put that other? Yeah, I don't want to see it.
That would be Nicholas.
Or Nicholas, sorry. Nathaniel. Goodness, sorry. Oh, my goodness. Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you. One more. Okay, now. So you'll just go right there. It's coming. Join us, Cougars.
Alrighty, so Jefferson also had two students for the Governor's Honors Academy, and they were not able to be here this evening. So Alex Hinkle and Daisy Levine. So in absentia, we'll congratulate them.
I think it's important to note just real quickly. I think Daisy Levine has been to a Governor's Academy. She's been to every one that West Virginia offers, including her 9th grade entrepreneur. She's a senior this year, and she's attended every one. So,
wow,
yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, she's I think the only student that's done that. So, yeah, yeah, that's pretty impressive. Anyway, go ahead.
That's like batting for the cycle.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Jefferson has 7 students accepted to the Governor's School for the Arts, and similar to the Honors Academy, the School for the Arts is a 3-week residential summer program for young artists to develop their talents and expand their horizons. So with us this evening, we have just a few of those, but we have Gwen Arnold. She's an honors student and a member of the Charisma Dance Ensemble. I had the privilege of seeing Charisma perform at the Arts Alive last month in Charleston. Gwen is also the sophomore class secretary. And we have Samantha Leon. She has sung with the Jefferson Show Choir, but is going to the School of Arts for Digital Arts. We have Brenna Patterson, an honor student and a member of the band and jazz ensemble, and Amanda Pastora. Amanda is an honor student and a member of the Jefferson Band. She's also taken on theater this year, and prior to Jefferson, she won first place in the 2015 Science Fair. We have Michaela Eccles, Anya Poteet, and Kayleen Taylor, who were not able to be with us this evening. So I'll bring our folks over there. And I think the Washington folks are up there too. So.
You finished?
Do you want to picture?
We're going to do one group, big group one.
We're going to do one giant big group one?
Great.
All right.
As you can see, Washington also had students that were selected for the Governor's School for the Arts. This year's audition was a little bit different. For the first time, it was not live auditions. We were very used to hosting that at Washington. They would send representatives from the state. This year, they had to make YouTube videos, which is a totally different process, and I think a little tougher. At least when you're performing for a live audience, you can see the judges' faces and kind of adjust your performance to that. And it was really a very trying process. We worked with the kids. Our teachers were fabulous working with the kids, and so we're very happy this evening to have them. We have Sydney Moore, who's going for dance. Yes, Emily as well. We have Jacob Smith. Jacob is digital, correct? Jacob was very instrumental in producing our yearbook, which did come out. Ryan Walker, and we are extremely pleased and happy for these kids. They're great. All of them are great representatives for our county, and we are all so proud of them.
My little horse around. You could hold up your certificates that will help me with identification. Paparazzi was Thank you.
And Ms. Fitzgerald, speaking of the arts, so enjoyed the student poem at your graduation yesterday.
Oh, thank you.
That was,
she did a fabulous job.
She sure did.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And thanks for being there.
Hi, Jill.
I turned by and saw it, and you graduated yesterday, you're here today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I didn't have that
for coming. Yes. You may recognize this young lady. She did graduate yesterday, and we're so pleased that she could come back and be with us. She spent last Monday in Charleston getting her award, and she's here tonight to be recognized. Mr. Soltis is going to tell you a little bit about how the state chooses students that will be recognized.
Yeah, she's scored very well up in, you figure there are probably tens of thousands of career tech ed students across the state in West Virginia. Louise Lee's finished in the top 2% of that group. She's done that by doing a lot of things that have not been easy. First of all, she's a completer in business at Washington High School. She's maintained a B average. Just in case you don't know, being a completer means she's completed 4 specific courses in business, and she has at least a B in those. I know she's scored higher and B in all those. She also has to do a portfolio at the end of the year, just like all completers do. On that portfolio, she had to score 95%, which she did, exceeded that. She also had to have at least 95% attendance rate, which she accomplished that. She had to take the NOCTI test, which is a nationally recognized certification test, and had to score the elite level. She did that. She also had to earn an industry recognized credential. She earned several credentials through Microsoft Office certification. Outstanding. And she also had to pass a minimum of 2 drug tests. She did that. So, again, top 2% across the state. We're proud of her. We want to be more people here in our CT completers to be like Louise Lee, so hopefully they'll do that. Thank you.
She is a member of the National Honor Society as well, and she was instrumental in reviving our DECA Club this year, and I know that's something very dear to your heart, and she was instrumental in reviving that club, and we really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much, honey.
You know, Louise Lee, we really think you should take the rest of the day off.
Yeah, don't come to school tomorrow. Take the day off.
I was wondering if she wanted a job.
Yeah,
Yes,
right, yeah.
she's going to be a great employee. Somebody better snap her up for sure. She'll be great.
Hello.
Just scoot it a little bit more. Just gonna scoot around.
All right, guys.
Stella's are a lot bigger than me. On behalf of Wildwood Middle School and Coach Vines and Coach Kraus, we're very, very proud to invite these 8th graders to board meeting to recognize their athletic accomplishments as well as academic accomplishments. Very proud. I've enjoyed watching them grow and mature. They're wonderful young men. And I'd like Coach Kraus to read off their names for us, and we will give them their certificates.
Okay, on behalf of Coach Vyans and Coach Cantrell, Coach Newman, and myself, our team, the boys' team, was the county champions. They were also the MAC conference champions, and they were also 4th at the Harry Green Invitational statewide tournament out of 32 teams that was held last Saturday. And all the coaches, and I'd like to thank Ms. Brockway and the staff for allowing us to compete out of the area to show off our athletic abilities. So thank you very much. Diana Taylor, Kristen Blau, Fox Knox, Leah Horsey, Jelani Hollis, Harris Kester's not here, and Jason Shepard.
Did anyone want to make a speech tonight?
Hey, please. Nah, man. This is your kind of time. Come on, man.
Now, Jelani, I remember you shining a couple of times.
Yeah. All right, I'll make a speech. Do I get a microphone?
Right there next to you, honey, you're fine. There, it's all hanging, it's hanging right there, just stand there and talk.
All right, bet. I would like to thank my coaches, my track mates. You know, we did a good job this year, you know. We put in that work, that grind. Know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh wait, I got something else. You know, thank the parents for getting us to our track meets.
Very good. Very important.
And to our practices and home. And take care of
keeping us
people.
fed.
Yeah, keeping us fed so we don't starve. You know.
Always in games.
Thank you, Jelani.
Thank you very much.
Kristen, if you could kind of go around the table to the back, and I'm going to get a big group picture there behind the board members.
Congratulations, young man.
Great job.
Good to see you, man. Good job.
Good to see you, man.
Yes, if everybody could hold up their certificates, that would be great. One more.
Good job, guys.
Running some nice young men. Great to see. Good luck, guys.
I gotta get my hug too.
Good to see you. I'm doing well.
Fastest kid I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Looks like that must be it.
I coached him in basketball. Ayon and Jelani.
Must have been hiding some of it.
Nope, there's more.
There's more.
Got a few more.
Are you kidding me? Come on. Bring it on.
Next year I'm investing in an inside and an outside. Sorry. Tonight I'd like to present to you a student who has served as our local and county chapter president of our Family, Career, and Community Leaders Association. As part of that, she has provided meals for families in need at Thanksgiving. She and her organization have provided meals for one of our students and his family when he had a brain disease. They've made cardinal cuddles for the Ronald McDonald House, among many, many other things. And I'd like to introduce Megan Boyd, and she'd like to share with you what she has also been awarded as.
Hi, my name is Megan Boyd, as she's told you, and recently I was elected as the Vice President of Public Relations for the West Virginia FCCLA community. And what I do as the Vice President of Public Relations is I get to go around at Nationals, which is upcoming here soon. I get to go around with other West Virginia members and talk to them about what they've done recently in their chapters, how they've helped their communities, how they've helped families. And I also get to get a whole bunch of ideas from the other states while at Nationals. And this is my first year in FCCLA, so it's a big honor for me to be elected in state, just my first year doing this, and I look forward to doing a lot more.
Maybe you need to get to know this woman right here who has a public relations firm.
Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah. We'll talk. I would love for you to sneak up there behind the board and we'll get a picture. What grade are you in, Megan? 8th. She put an 8. She's scouting. She's scouting her kids. You gotta plan these internships now. Perfect. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thanks for your public service. Yep.
Yes. Great job. Yeah, there you go.
Good evening. After acknowledging the success of so many students in our school system, how truly grateful I am to allow our superintendent and members of the board to acknowledge 3 educators who have done truly exceptional work with some of the most vulnerable students in our schools. As you may know, Jefferson County Schools has the highest number of English learners in the entire state of West Virginia, which actually, believe it or not, garners considerable national attention. And a group of researchers from the University of Wisconsin at Madison came to do qualitative interviews with all of our special educators who work with highly disabled English learners. And 3 names over the course of those interviews kept being mentioned consistently. One was Richard Harner, our educator who works exclusively with English learners at Washington High School and Charlestown Middle School, and Miss Marcy Walker, who again, a special educator who works with our most disabled students at Charlestown Middle School. In addition, believe it or not, another name that was mentioned was Jeremy Wilt. Unfortunately, Mr. Wilt cannot be with us this evening. As a result of this constant mentioning, the researchers approached me and said, we would actually like to invite these 3 educators to participate in a meeting in Phoenix, Arizona, a national meeting, and be part of the leadership group that creates what's called the Altella Assessment, which is an alternative assessment for English language learners. And these are the children in our school system who are English learners who unfortunately cannot participate in the assessment as required by federal law. And as you may also know, consequently, they currently receive zeros for not participating. And thanks to these individuals, these students will now have the opportunity to be assessed. So again, late April they went, so it gives me again great pleasure, and I'm going to let Mr. Harner, if he wouldn't mind, just share a bit, if you would, of what you did when you were out there in Arizona. And then Ms. Walker as well, if you wouldn't mind.
Good evening. Like Mr. Ebersol said, we were a group of educators, special ed, gen ed, and English language instructors coming together to try and develop an English proficiency exam that would meet the needs of students that aren't in the general ed population. With most language tests, of course, you have to read, write, speak, and a lot of those students don't have those capabilities. They are either nonverbal, they don't know how to read, they can't write, they have other things that prohibit them from taking the general ed assessment. So the work that we did was to find a way for them to fully participate with us so we can gauge that progress is being made. And so we developed, we took a look at the standards for the 4 language domains of reading, writing, listening, and speaking, and tried to put them into a hierarchy that we thought could allow the students to participate and bridge their way to the general ed assessment.
No, he summed it up.
And again, it gives me great pleasure because I don't know if you recall, but in both LSIC meetings for the schools, Mr. Harner and as well as Ms. Walker were both mentioned for the great success and honor they bring to their schools. So we're just very grateful to have them. Thank you.
At least now know why Marcy was in Arizona in April. I couldn't figure it out. Thanks for enlightening me. Yes.
94 and sunny.
Yeah. Thank you both for what you do for your school system. Really appreciate it.
We have have another announcement, recognizing some students that aren't here this evening, correct? That received a couple
There
of
was a
awards.
field trip today, and so some of our artistes were not able to get here.
Okay, so we had at Wildwood Middle School a couple of award winners for the Design and Ad contest. Jillian Britton, who is a 7th grader, I believe she received 3rd place. Ariadne Ramirez received an honorable mention. She's also a 7th grader. And Michael Newland, one of our 6th graders, also received an honorable mention. These students are dedicated and they come to school every day into class with their passion for creating art, and their maturity level and respectful nature makes each of them a standout as a natural leader. So we're very pleased to have those students win awards for Wildwood Middle School. I don't know if many of you have heard of the West Virginia Attorney General's opioid contest. We have sent in competition before some of the artworks from students, so this is the first year that our students have placed, and it's pretty distinguished. They will have their artwork displayed at the in Charleston at the Capitol, and their visual messages challenge the audience to understand the detrimental consequences of having an opioid addiction. And Caden Patterson was a 6th grader. We actually got 2 out of 3 grades, and then Chloe Davis is an 8th grader, and so we're very proud of these students for representing Wildwood and Jefferson County Public Schools.
Did you say that was for artwork that they had done?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, it would be really interesting to see that.
Yes.
It's a pretty big deal that
Yeah.
they were both recognized here at the regional level.
So
And when we were
if it's on your, I don't know if it's on your website or,
Not
but,
yet.
yeah, we need to, yeah.
When it comes out in poster form, I apologize. I sent quite a few, and I didn't think to take pictures of everybody's, but once it comes out in poster form,
Yeah,
I'm sure
good.
you will send us
Great,
some of
great.
those. It's a big deal.
Yeah, sure is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is the portion where we spend 40 minutes talking about all the fantastic kids that we have and the academics. and the arts and the things that they bring to their community and to the state and actually representing us at the nation. And then we get to the Spirit of Jefferson Awards where we talk about the staff who support them and help make that happen. So
one of the things before I talk about this wonderful person is that I want to thank the board for the work and our superintendent and our assistant superintendent for your focus now on our personnel here in Jefferson County, for the quality of people that we're looking for to come here and live and work. And this man is one of the finest, and he hates things like this. He's one of the
I bet you had
finest
to trick him to come.
representatives. Yes, his wife was wonderful.
I can believe it. Where is she?
But she's
come on.
Yes, Stacy. Craig is just one of these incredible men that comes in dressed day in and day out for the job. He does this wonderful work with the students, with the love of music, with middle school students, and what kind of discipline he is able to achieve with their love of music, and he amazes me. I'm very happy that I came here and got to know him and watch him day in, day out. What you see is one of the things that we have to hold on to. The caliber of excellence is beyond compare. So thank you, Mr. Craig Lee, for being part of it.
Ms. Brockway, if I could just add, as a parent, I've had the opportunity to see Mr. Lee, not with one child, but with two. And for those of you who know my kids, they are a little bit different. And Ms. Skinner, you can stop now.
I was just going to say they take after their dad, but, you know.
But he has inspired both kids in different but very meaningful ways, which says a lot about the gift you have with working with students. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I just hope that you're not announcing your retirement or something.
Not yet. Got a few more years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get a lot of, you can't retire until my child.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, everyone.
That's how we hold on to you.
Yes.
It's great to introduce Aaron. Aaron up here tonight. Good morning. I know he's one of our bus drivers and a great bus driver, fabulous. When I was talking to Mrs. White about him, she said, I would like to have a whole bunch of him, and then I would be in so much better shape. So it's great to be here, and we're great to have you here for the Jefferson the Spirit of Jefferson Award. You were brought here by your children, and the children on the bus, and the parents had sent in information and had praised your driving. And we love the fact, and this is something we as a group too will love the fact, he has been on bus 30 for now, what, 5 years, they tell me? 5 years, not jumping and going here and going there and going everywhere. He has his kids, and he keeps them like his. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
And I'm not even going to give the check to your wife. Here it is.
Oh, I'm sure you just violated some rule.
Okay, so as a teacher in the school system, we would be absolutely nothing without all of the many volunteers. And so, as you can tell, Miss Scott is incredible. And so all of these students put together some words that they want to say about our amazing volunteer of the month.
I'm going to say something first, okay? Okay. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
So, in the beginning of this past summer, Miss Scott called me and asked me to lunch. And little did I know that that chicken sandwich and french fries was going to lead me to this involvement with the K-Kids. So I'm here tonight to say a few words about our friend Karen. I've known Karen as a parent and as a volunteer, and in my class supporting me with hands-on science, and now I get to watch her be the leader of our K-Kids. And I stand here in complete awe of her, no, I'm gonna get emotional, of her patience and perseverance and determination to lead us. So I've asked a few of our students to come in and say a few words. Alex?
Hi, we are the Right Danny K-Kids. We wanted to thank Mrs. Scott for everything she does for us. She has made these 3 years special. We wouldn't want anybody else to guide us these 3 years except her. We like how she cares for us, but teaches us to be kind at the same time. We also love how she makes crafts for the community. We love her. Thank you, K-Kids.
Good evening. My name is Anna Walter, and I'm the president of Builders Club at Charlestown Middle School. Builders Club is a great school group that helps the community. We volunteer about 1,276 hours this year. Without Miss Scott, that would never have been possible. She's always excited to be with us and pushes us to be our best selves. She has made a huge contribution to our youth. She has ensured the prosperous growth of future generations of this town and beyond. So for that, we thank you, and I couldn't think of anyone more fitting for this award.
So I'd like to do 2 pictures, if I could do one with you and the kids, with you and the kids, and then,
Yes.
then we'll do something with the board. But I can't see everybody. You in the back, there you go. Thank you. It's Julian. Okay, are you trying to get her out? I don't know what you're doing. You're here, come here. Get in, Julian.
I'll come with you.
Oh.
Step 2.
Cool, thank you. And then,
Ms. Scott, can we just say that I could not think of a more impressive testimonial than these young students. It says so much about what you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I enjoy it. They make it easy.
Yes.
Thank you.
And of course, Mr. Osborne had me back in student teaching. Not that I threw him under the bus. And this was a grant from the Eastern West Virginia Community Foundation.
So for those of you who may have noticed, this is the very first time we have had you are the very first Spirit of Jefferson volunteer award winners. We have a place on our website for our citizens to submit great ideas, and we review their great ideas, and if we can make them happen, we do, because we think we work better as a community together. And one of the great ideas that got submitted is, hey, you guys do Professional of the Month and Service Person of the Month. Why don't you do Volunteer of the Month? We have hundreds of volunteers, and they help make our system run. And we were like, that's a great idea. And we went out and solicited a grant from the Eastern Panhandle. So you are the inaugural first Jefferson County Spirit of Jefferson Volunteer Award winner. So thank you for being here.
That concludes the recognition portion.
Congratulations, everyone. All right, Madam Superintendent, top this.
And you know what? That's the great thing is that every time I can't,
Yeah,
they
it sure is.
they speak for the system. They don't need us to speak for them. They do a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you all very much for being here.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Exactly. Where were they hiding? That's kind of
They were probably in your office.
We didn't. They were. I have candy in my office. That may be where they were at.
candy.
Yeah,
You had
I had
candy.
candy in my office. Past tense.
Candy? Did I hear candy? Approval of the minutes. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
This is for minutes of the last regular board meeting and the special board meeting, which was,
Building.
yes, for the land use. Mhm. Any question or any clarifications, questions about the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Citizens' comments. Ms. Frame? We ask you to limit your comments to 3 hours.
I got this. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to do is kind of formally invite you guys in the community to our Chasing Coral event, and I'll hand you out some flyers in a little bit. It just got shared by the Spirit of Jefferson. We're really excited. We have 10 organizations committed to come tomorrow night. So parents have shared it and talked about it, and truly I'm honored. My students have just kind of had this idea and they just ran with it, and I just kind of ran with them. So like the Eastern Panhandle Conservation District is coming to set up a booth on sustainability. We have the Eastern Panhandle Beekeepers Association coming with a live beehive for information, Tudor Hall Farm, various organizations coming tomorrow night, and I just wanted to kind of give you a heads up if you can't attend. Be expecting a little presentation or thing from my students, because they have been looking at the waste in our school. And so I'll just give you kind of a real quick summary. They found that an average of trash through our lunch shift, just one sixth grade lunch shift, was an average of 75 pounds a day that we threw away. And by recycling, they separated they called it the improved waste and recycling system. And they separated trash, milk cartons, liquids, food waste, and recycling. And they are now down to less than 10 pounds of trash a day for a sixth grade lunch. So it's pretty fascinating, and they're ready to like make it a system. And I'm trying to like rein them in a little bit, but they're amazing. And I'm really proud of them, so I hope you guys can come tomorrow night. Next thing I want to talk about, I've talked to some of you about, is the honors program. As a middle school teacher and a parent of soon-to-be 2 middle school students next year, I know I'm really concerned about the honors program for middle school specifically, and that we do a disservice to all of the students of middle school when we expect our teachers to differentiate between first grade level learning and college level learning in one classroom when they already have more than 30 students in that classroom. That's not differentiation. That's not the definition that we know of differentiation, and that is extremely challenging. And so as my daughter kind of moves up, I worry about her honors program and her being prepared to go into high school and further, because she loves her academics and she's really excited to. So, and then I just wanted to say thank you for the future meeting I was able to attend. I don't know how to get more community members. I know that people ask for these meetings, and so I just kind of wanted to say to any community that's watching, like, they had multiple meetings for what the future of Jefferson County is going to be. In the last meeting, there were like 4 of us there. So just be more involved. And I just wanted to thank the board for all of the work that went into that, because I know that was a lot of time and energy spent so that we could kind of see where Jefferson County was headed. And I just wanted to say thank you. And then finally, June's a busy month for us, so I might not see you this summer. I wanted to say congrats to Mrs. Skinner and Ms. Ogden formally, and thank you, Mr. Suddeth, for all of your service in Jefferson County. I am truly grateful. So that was
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
And have a great summer.
I'm gonna try.
Thank you.
Love that recycling. Get those students. Love that.
Yes, they have a heart
Yeah.
for it. They're ready to
that's
save
what it's
the
gonna-
world.
That's what it's going to take. Okay, moving on to consent agenda.
Yes, sir. While I do not have any corrections to the consent agenda, I perhaps have some clarification. You will note on there that it says that our public information officer is to be announced. And I am actually very pleased that after a search that drew a pretty robust pool of candidates, we were very blessed to get Mr. Hans Fogel here, who you may recognize as the voice of the Panhandle.
I don't recognize him, but if you could speak for a minute.
Good form, I'm afraid, a little allergies, so I want to recognize that.
So Mr. Fogel comes to us with a degree from Shepherd in communications and having many years in communications in both radio and in television, and the background in the community, having participated in forums, having mediated. He has a lot of good connections. He also has participated in both Leadership Berkeley and in Leadership Jefferson. He knows all of the individuals in the community, has deep roots here. His children will be going here. One of them already does.
He's in Mrs. Webb's class at Shepherd.
There you go. Oh, Mrs. Webb. Well, I wasn't going to call Mrs. Webb out, but...
She's my hero.
Yeah, there you go. That's the right thing for a PR guy to say. Good job. Way to go. The interview's going well so far. So you may not know that he was named the 2017 Best Newscast of the Year, Best Talk Station of the Year for his work, and we feel very blessed to have him here. And while we have been the beneficiary of some absolutely amazing work by Miss Sandy Spinagle and Platinum PR and by Mr. Rob Perks, they are a phenomenal team, and I quite frankly would not have made it through the first 3 years without having their support and their backing and getting our message out to the public. With changes in the structure and with our growth as a system, and quite frankly, with the almost voracious demand of our public for information. They want it instantly, they want it constantly, they want it in a variety of venues, and it has become quite the full-time job for us to keep them informed, keep them knowing about our programs, trying to get them in, and when we have emergencies, putting out lots of information on lots of different channels. And we need someone internal 24/7.
Yep.
I shouldn't say that until after you go.
Yeah.
24/7 to take care of that. But I think that Mr. Fogel would be a fantastic addition, and we're very pleased to have him on board. So,
Great.
thank you, sir.
Any other
Changes to the consent
or-
agenda? No, sir.
Okay. We have a motion.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Ms. Fogel, congratulations. Look forward to having you on board. And this board's been very committed to communication and outreach with the community. I think that we've come a long way, and this will be a very important position to help continue that. So, thank you.
So that chaos in the hall? Yours to manage. There you go. But,
I have young children. I can
you heard Cat's well.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's part of it. That's part of it.
Okay, well, welcome aboard.
Thank you all. I appreciate it.
Let's see, we have unfinished business?
Yes, sir, we certainly do. Mr. Dingus has an update for you.
This is updated. We had talked about at North Jefferson having a water pipe put in. Jefferson Utilities is going to be placing a water system into the area out there, and will be taking on our well. And there also be at that same time, they had to add. They're going to be going through around the fence, inside the fence on our side, with a 16-inch water pipe. Now that 16-inch water pipe, the great thing about it is when we have to add on that school sometime in the future, we will have to put sprinklers in. That will handle the sprinklers and anything else very, very, very well. And we won't have those extra costs that we did like Trish would. Or a big tank that we do up on the mountain, up at Blue Ridge Primary and over at South Jefferson. Because with both of those places, they don't have city water there. Right now, North Jefferson neither has city water. We have to send somebody out there every day to check the chlorine levels and to check the system as a whole. It's a daunting thing, and it costs us a lot of money. Plus, it will cause us right now to be running a water system, not something a school system really wants to do. So they'll be running the water system in the future. They're hoping to get started in September, and they're hoping to get us done when there's not students at the building. We talked about that, trying to keep it without students there. And if there are students there, they will do in very small areas at a time, covering back up quickly. Anything that gets moved, they'll put back. And that's, again, what the easement's about. It's the difference between this easement and the last one is before they were coming in from a different direction. Now they're going to come around the fence, inside the fence on our side. So it's more of our land, basically.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Questions?
Is there going to be a substantial water fee that we're going to have to pay?
There's going to be a normal water fee, just what we normally would have. We're not going to have any fee up front. It would only be the usage that we always have. We would have in all the other buildings that we have public water at.
But we don't have it.
But we don't have it at North
school
Jefferson currently.
We do not currently have that. However, currently we also are running our own water system, which costs their money on top by having our people come out and check every day, and the chemicals and all the other things that we have to buy and have checked every day.
Have we figured out about how much, if it's going to balance out or if it's going to be more?
I did not do those calculations.
Rob, how many schools currently do we have about
Without?
that we use JUI for now? How many?
I thought you were going to ask without. I know how many without, but
Give me both. How many without?
we have Blue Ridge Primary, Blue Ridge Elementary. We have Driswood, that's very good. We have Blue Ridge Primary, Blue Ridge Elementary, Page Jackson, Shipley, and North. So the 5 of them.
That do
In
not.
South Jefferson?
South Jefferson, yeah. Yes.
So I do think it'd be helpful, like Driswood is on this same utility.
Yeah.
So
we can
we
figure
need
a
to at
number
least
fairly
look
quick.
to see what we project the usage to be, so that we can plan for.
So is TA. So I mean, we can use that as
TA's on currently.
Yes.
And does this have something to do with Rockville coming in?
Yes.
I do think that there's a problem also with the system out at Fox Glen, and they're going to pick up all of Fox Glen.
Right now, Fox Glen.
And right now,
has
Fox
a well?
Glen doesn't have water. It has its own water system. It's not on Jefferson Utilities water. Wow.
This is part of the utilities going to
Yeah.
Roxville.
That's what I thought.
Okay, any other questions? And has this has been reviewed by?
Our lawyers, yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, Ralph.
You're welcome.
New business, Mr. Vaughn?
Yes, Mr. Fuller?
A couple of board meetings ago, you approved Project 1 out of our Step 7 funds, and these are the remaining funds that go into those Step 7 funds that we get on a yearly basis that Ms. Marone covered on some of these whenever she did the financial review and the budget review earlier this evening. And this is just a little more of a breakdown about these funds. It's pretty consistent. Usually, say, work closely with the finance office as far as determine how they can best be utilized. That it'll be submitted June the 1st to the State Department, so I wanted to share it with you prior to that time. That is part of our comprehensive budget. Be glad to entertain any questions that you might have about anything on there.
Okay, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Questions?
Yeah. Pat, how is this pretty steady from year to year?
It was a little bit of an increase this year. Last year was about a $30,000 increase, and we saw that again this year also. So there's small increases to it.
Any other questions? All in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alphabest?
Well, as you know, each of our elementary and intermediate schools offers a service to parents. It is a service that parents pay for. They're not required to use the service, but if they want to have a place to drop off their students 2 hours prior to school or pick up their students up to 2 hours after school, they pay a provider to provide that service. Every 3 years, we put that service up for bid. We did that again this year. Our previous provider was AlphaBest. We did an RFP. We advertised it in the local newspaper for 2 weeks. We posted it on the website for 2 weeks. We had 2 groups that expressed interest in the project. Only one submitted a proposal by the deadline, which was mid-April, and that company was AlphaBest. Spoke with the elementary principals, because that's the group that uses the facility. They're all very happy with AlphaBest. We formed a committee. Everyone was invited to participate from that group. In that committee, we had 2 of the principals volunteer to participate, and they reviewed AlphaBest's proposal and were happy with it, so they forwarded the recommendation to me, which is I'm recommending to you. Again, it's a service that's provided for parents to use. Doesn't cost the school system anything. Parents pay the cost for that. The reason we do an RFP is to try to get the best deal for our parents, because they're providing for all the schools. Now, when I say they provide for all the schools, if there is demand for the program, if you only have 2 parents express an interest at a specific school, well, AlphaBest can't afford to run a program for 2 parents. So I think their cutoff is 12 parents or so, where they'll run a program for that facility. Do you have any questions?
Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Questions? Marty, I think you said this, but repeat it for me. You did you did an RFP?
We did.
Did you have others submit?
We did. We had 2 express interest. They wanted the information sent to them, but only one, AlphaBest, submitted the proposal to provide the service.
And at this point, I mean, we're approving that they would be the provider, but it's still to be determined based on level of interest.
Well,
how many?
What you're voting on is to having them be the provider for the next 3 years at all of our elementary or intermediate schoods, if there's enough interest at each school. So if Blue Ridge Elementary has 15 parents, yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd like to drop my kids off an hour early, pick them up an hour late. If they get 15 people, then AlphaBest will provide that service. If they only get 2 parents, they can't afford to send someone over there to
What
do that.
happens if you have 15 to start out, provide it, and then it drops below a certain level during the school year?
It's written in the contract that if AlphaBest decides to pull out, and I don't think they would because they've worked very nice with us, and I think they would work with us on that instance. But if it is in the contract that does happen, that they have to give, I think it's a 30-day notice if they intend to pull out of the school, which I really don't see happening. But
They have not ended any of their in the 3 years that that I've been here, and I don't know how long they were here before
it's
that.
about 5 or 6 now.
Yeah, they have not pulled out of any school mid-year. If they've started a school year, they've finished a school year there.
But it is in there. If it does drop, they have to give, I believe it's a 30-day notice. And they've been helpful in many ways. Business partners, they're one of our biggest donors. They always send people to help select the recipients of that program. So they're very involved. They're a good company, and all the principals are happy with them. So I have no reservations that we could have them as our provider again.
Just the other day, one of my kids was speaking fondly of his
days at AlphaBest.
His days at AlphaBest.
And I will say that they offer a discount to Jefferson County School employees who place their children there, so it is also a benefit to our employees as well. I didn't know
that. I know that the school system doesn't pay for it, but in their proposal, did they have pretty steady rates from this past year to the following year?
They stayed the same. I sent out a sheet, a requirement sheet for anybody that wants to provide service, and there is a limit in there of how much they can charge per hour for both care every day and even for occasional care. Maybe someone wants to use it only 2 days a week. There's a little bit different fee schedule for that. But there is a limit, and if I recall, it's not changed since what it was last year.
Okay. Thank you.
Great. Okay, any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you very much. Item C under new business is superintendent's contract. I would anticipate, first of all, an executive session to discuss personnel issues, and do we have some
You have
other?
personnel, and you have 2 personnel and 1 land.
Okay. So.
And I expect action afterwards in public.
So I would anticipate that we would be taking action on regarding the superintendent's contract following a discussion. So we will return to open session for any action to be taken. Would entertain a motion to move to executive session under West Virginia law regarding personnel and real estate or legal issues. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We'll take a 3-minute break.
Sure.